the McLaren car pulled in, it had Flovers on. I really like Williams' livery this year. I think it's sexy.
Yeah. My hot take for the season is that Liam Lawson is going to out-qualify Max on merit at least 5 times this season. Alrighty, and welcome to the Crash podcast with Mike and Rob. What is up, dude? Crash. It should be noted that Fernando never ever said crash. Ever.
How do you know it's
done
Fernando
with his accent when I said it? Which is what it is.
Well, to kind of put it into perspective, for the longest time ever, I legit thought that was the thing. Like, I would say it to people. I even actually said it to Lara the one day. I was like, yeah, Fernando Alonso told someone to crash.
It has never been said by Fernando Alonso, and but I don't doubt he ever said that. But I just want to say it is a wonderful welcome sight to see Rob behind a microphone again. It has been far too long. Rob, the last time we recorded an episode or a podcast was back in 2022, mate.
Yeah. I was in the UK. It was cold. Jeez, like that was that almost 3 years ago? Or no, it's
a bit more than 2 years ago.
But it's a long time. Yeah. We've taken a long break from this. What have you kind of like, how do you feel about coming back?
A renewed sense of interest, a renewed sense of energy. I feel like I know more about F1. I feel like I know less about F1, but I feel, and I'm not sure how this comes across, but it feels good to have something this shape and size in my hand.
You like it, eh?
Just feels right. Okay, what about you, Rob?
I'm super stoked to get going again. I've got a ton of ideas. You've got a ton of ideas. I'm keen for the season. I'm keen to see fire. Not in a bad way, but like I'm keen to see like an amazing season. Last season actually was already incredible. So it's bound to carry on,
dude. I mean, if you think about the last time that it was the season before a big rules change, everyone's caught up. Everyone's gotten to pretty much the peak of their philosophy. And the last time that happened was in 2021, where Red Bull caught up to Mercedes. And we had the most epic finale ever. This season we go into it with 4 teams, maybe 5 that are constant podium contenders. It's gonna be epic.
Who's the 5th?
I would hazard a guess and say Alpine could challenge for a podium on the right day, but we'll cover that a little bit later. Once we give our rundowns for who we think is going to come where in the predictions for our first episode back. Have you been watching a lot of F1, Rob? Did you watch any of the testing?
I only caught highlights. I didn't watch anything live. I caught a lot of highlights, watched a lot of reviews. I'm still, every time I come away from testing, I'm always nervous to ever make a prediction. I'm always nervous to be like, they're going to crush it. I mean, unless for the past 2 or 3 years it's been Red Bull, you're kind of like, yeah, they're looking slow, but watch, they're going to crush it. I always got my hopes up with Mercedes being like, oh, look at the zero-pod design. It's going to fucking kick ass. And then, no, it did the complete opposite. I even had people telling me that, oh, how is this even legal? How can they do this? And then it was the complete opposite. So I look at it. I look at the liveries. I look at like how drivers are kind of performing, but I don't take anything away from it because it can just give me a lot of heartbreak and hopium. What do you've obviously been watching it. What are your thoughts?
Every minute of testing, but I watch it the same way that Big Brother is on in the background half the time, because a lot of it is just commentary from the depths of boredom hell. I mean, it can be really mind-numbing at times, but the more I get to know F1, and I don't know a ton, but the more I get to know what testing's about and understanding how teams address things, the more I can sort of read into how things have shaped up. but it's always weird. I mean, different teams go into with different plans for different days, different fuel loads, different everything. So you don't really get a clear picture. But one of the key indicators that you can take away from is, or take things away from, is race pace of their race simulations, because those are kind of standardized to an extent, and you can work out a pretty good grid from there. And there's like the carryover from last year, so you know how the season ended last year. Not many teams have. A couple of them have
Yeah.
reshaped their entire car. Like Ferrari says they've got a brand new car, but how true that is, I guess, remains to be seen. But yeah, I'm a fanboy around testing. In fact, I enjoy testing almost more than any other part of the year because I like the liveries and shiny new cars going around as well, which is so much fun.
It's all the mystery, right? It's all like the what are they holding back or
Mm.
sandbagging. One of the most interesting moments I saw was, and it's probably happened before, and you'd probably seen it, but the first time I've ever seen it, the McLaren car pulled in. It had Flovers on, um, and the whole engineering crew essentially was like standing in front so that no one could see like what had happened, or the streaks from the Flovers or whatever coming across the car. That's for me the first time I've ever seen that. So I'm like, sure, if McLaren are caring that much about like what they've got going, it's possible that they're going to crash. Could be false hope, but I mean, it's awesome. It's
You're
really cool.
absolutely right, dude.
Um,
It's definitely not the first time. You might see teams doing that in free practices if they bring a major upgrade to one of the tracks. And sometimes if they have to do work that involves raising the car and you see some of the underbody, they might very well make barricades or little walls around it. But Ferrari
yeah,
as well, they had big screens in front of their garage, and they were just trying to make sure nobody sees, because everyone comes in as a means of showing off all the work they've done in the past 80 days or so, and it's
mm,
really worth guarding against. And it's just a bunch of well kept secrets. It'll be interesting to see if McLaren can continue to propel themselves forward, or whether or not everyone's caught up in a way, which I kind of hope they have.
me too.
Mm.
And do you want to know why? And this is just like the weird anti-organization corporate man kind of coming out from me. But I learned that they are the only team on the grid that don't have a title sponsor. And I thought that that was fascinating. It's Ferrari HP, it's Mercedes Petronas, whatever. It's Oracle Red Bull, it's who else? Atlassian Williams, it's McLaren, which I find
Wow.
fascinating. It's not Google McLaren, it's not like anything like that, it's just McLaren. And I like that a lot. I don't understand. I understand. We even actually had this conversation the other day. They want big sponsors. They want tech to come in because it furthers technology and brings in a ton of money. But
Yeah.
there's a line, yeah. Like your name, Atlassian, is on the car. It's all for everyone to see. But it should just be called Williams. I think it also should just be called Saber or Racing Bulls or whatever. I don't think we need these corporate overlords being like, look at me. It's like we should have a McDonald's Haas then,
Oh
bro.
God, how funny would it
You know
be?
what I
Well,
mean?
it's Chipotle is one of their sponsors, so you're not far off. To be
No.
fair, but yeah, MoneyGram House. I hadn't even thought of that. Um, but
Uh,
I was looking at the other day. It's funny you should mention sponsorship. I was looking at 2018 McLaren and how bare and bald the
yeah.
car was of sponsors versus today. It is a money machine. They may not have a title sponsor, but they've got some people to
But I
report
mean,
to
that
with what they're putting on that
got
car.
huge sponsors. Yeah,
It's pretty impressive.
100%. All these cars do. I think there's probably the most amount of sponsorships in the sport currently at the moment. Or I don't know, probably in the last like 2-3
Yeah,
years,
I,
I'd
I
say.
reckon. Apart from, it would be really cool if they could get some tobacco sponsors back on there, get Marlboro back in there, get Smith and Wesson guns.
Well,
whoever you want in there, put them
views.
on those
They're
cars.
right? Wait, sorry.
Yes,
Did you
I
just
did.
say Smith and Wesson?
Yes.
That's a gun company, yeah. Oh, okay.
Put whoever you want on your
not the kind of
cars.
message you want to be giving
I've
to
got an
children.
episode planned for the future where we go into the more ludicrous sponsors that have been on Formula One cars, including Durex, and I'm hoping we can plan for a fun episode around that sometime in the near future, which I think you'll quite enjoy.
I love that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna mention because I also know a couple of very interesting ones. But yeah, that would
Nice.
be cool.
So we may as well get started with what we want to do, which is to look forward to the season and who we think is going to be positioned where. And it'll be interesting to get your take on it, dude, to be very honest. So yeah, I think you should lead
Should I
us into this,
should I pull
mate.
up the board?
Pull up the
Should I pull up the
board.
board then? Okay.
This is one of those
Sorry,
things where if you're a
hold on.
previous
There you
listener of our podcast, you'll know that it was never available on video and it was always done in person. I now live in New Zealand. Rob lives in South Africa still. And Rob's gone to the great lengths of getting a green screen and putting a lot of thought and effort into things. Whereas I'm just trapped under a staircase in a small little hobbit hole. And Rob's got all of the technical know how about him.
Oh yeah, no idea actually. I think that's more accurate. Well, I'm
Nice.
ready. Should we start off with kick? Can you even see the
Yep.
image? No. There we go. As you can see that one. So thoughts. I don't have a lot of hope, well, not hope, but I don't think they're going to do all that well this current season. I think they've got quite a lot of growing to do before they go into their proper transition into Audi. So I'm definitely going to put them at stone dead last. Let me hear your thoughts
Put them
quickly
last,
before I
mate.
actually place.
They are looking horrendous.
Okay.
Even with Hulkenberg at the
Easy.
wheel, that's a slow car.
Yeah.
And
I didn't even see them
and
at
they look
testing.
the livery looked pretty good on stage. It looks terrible in person. So dead last in all respects. I
Right.
feel very sorry for them, and that's a team without direction.
I mean, actually, no. Why do I care? I don't like kick. Sauber, I feel sorry for you, but yeah.
They've just been going nowhere for years.
Let's move on. Yeah. Aston Martin.
Let's do this. Let's have you start with where you think they're going to go, and I'll go after you, and we'll do that down the list.
I think they're going to come. Okay, so for each one, I think they're going to come 8th, 7th. That's a realistic thing, I think. Lance Roll, the window licker, not my term, but someone else's, is not going to do well. I can guarantee you that, and I really hope Daddy Stroll takes him out of the chair after this season. Fernando Alonso, we might have some cool moments from him, but I don't see it. I don't see them coming through well at all. Let's look at Cash App Brothers.
Am I going to get to have a verdict on Aston Martin or not?
Oh, sorry. I thought I was going one. Sorry, dude. Yeah.
No worries. Have you got two pictures for each team, and maybe we could put them? Yeah.
What, side by side,
cool.
maybe?
And then you could do your list, and I'll do my list.
Aston Martin only got one because I was like, that's the car. You don't need to see much more. The others, pretty much, I have like 2 for each, except for Aston Martin and Sauber.
Yeah, you can put Sauber in it. Yeah, Sauber's lost. You could just use one picture for them, to be honest. Have you put Aston Martin 8th or 7th?
Yeah. I put them at
Fair
7th.
enough.
Yeah, I think
I've
that's
got Aston
realistic. What do you
Martin
think?
down for 8th, to be honest. So around about the same sort of position as you. Same sort of reasons. It's a team on the decline right
Mm.
now until they get Newey in. I think they're only focused on next season. In fact, for them, it's probably the worse they do, the better for them this season, because then they'll get more aero testing,
Yeah.
more time with Newey to develop the car. They don't want
Yeah.
to get any further than that this season.
Shit, yeah. They should just throw, actually, then. They shouldn't even compete. Just come dead last. It's good.
Yeah.
Next one. It's the Cash App Brothers. Oh, no. Hold on. Okay. I don't know how to move it while we go. So we're just going to have to show each one individually. Yuki Tsunoda and who's
Isaac
this new chap
Hadjar.
again? I forget his name. Isaac. I know nothing about him. I actually didn't even see him in testing. Yuki Tsunoda, I hope he has some moments, but I'm not that hopeful. I like the car livery more than anything. So I give it a decent 7th.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't actually know much more about the car, you know, so I actually can't give comments. Just that I
think
like
that I think you're pretty close on. I would put them as 9th personally. I think Isaac Hadjar is a better driver than, or he has more to offer than Gabriel Bortoleto. Isaac would have beaten Gabriel Bortoleto to the title in Formula 2 last year had he not stalled on the grid in Formula 2 at Abu Dhabi. He's a good driver. It'd be interesting to see what he can pull off. Yuki's disgruntled. Yuki's got a new management team. He's looking to get himself out of the Red Bull fold, which is the right idea. And with the team in the midst of moving around the world, moving their base of operations closer to England, I think they're going to be a little bit stretched. And I don't see the best 2025 season for them. So I've gone 9th. Yeah.
Sure.
It is.
It's harsh. All right. You know what? I'm gonna agree with you there. Alpine.
Interested to hear what you think here, mate.
I don't rate them highly, but they did start coming back towards the end of last season. But anything can change. I don't know who their engineers are. I just know that they're French. Maybe that's not even them. That's them.
Well, if that isn't an indictment,
the
I
color
don't know
of
what
blue
is.
and pink. Yeah, the color of blue and pink. Don't quite know how I feel about it anymore. I don't really like the livery. I was actually looking at a side by side of their car last year and this year. I think there's a huge improvement, but yeah, I don't know. I'm going to place them at 6th. No, 7th. I'm placing them at 7th.
I would like for the records to show that Rob has placed 3 teams in a row in 7th so far. Which, you do you, boo. That's cool,
Look,
man. It's quite a scrappy midfield with Rob.
You keep changing my mind with your stuff. Yeah, everyone's coming 7th.
I don't
Ferraris.
think you're wrong about Alpine. It's another midfield kind of car. They're definitely on the rise from the end of last year, so Alpine are moving forward. Alpine are not the type of team to consolidate a season and just kind of leave it hanging. They're going to go as best as they can, which is to their credit and also to their fault. So my feeling with them is that they're going to be coming 5th. I think that they've got a great driver in Pierre Gasly. Doohan's going to be coming for his rookie season. He's a solid driver. I don't think he's going to do exceptionally well. I hope he keeps his seat. It would be quite unfair if Colapinto were to take that halfway through the season, although that's what they're looking to do. That's why Williams have loaned him there. But I've got them as the strongest of the midfield, and I've got Alpine down in 5th.
5th.
A really good showing.
Okay. You know what? I I'm not going to actually say I agree, like I'm some kind of like sycophant, but every time I think of Pierre Gasly, I think of him coming fifth for some reason. I think at one stage, like he started like qualifying fifth or like doing kind of well, and I just kind of think of him as like a fifth place driver.
No,
Oh,
that's
that's a
that's true.
horrible thing to
It
say.
was 2021 season when it was AlphaTauri. There was constant fourths and fifths and sixths. He was best of the rest in what
Yeah.
is a really, it was a bang on average car. He destroyed Yuki Tsunoda and made most of his teammates look pretty average. So he can get the most out of a pretty woeful car.
Hmm. Okay. Well, let's
Let's
see,
see.
dude.
That opens
Let's
up
see,
seventh
man.
again, I guess.
I don't know.
So next.
Haas. Oh shit, it's Haas. Fuck. I just saved my other placements. You know what?
Rob, we might have some common
Because
ground here if you go
I
for the
don't.
number I think you're going for.
Okay, no, no. Yeah. I am gonna do some juggling. I'm moving Aston Martin up to seventh, eighth, and Haas are gonna come second last. That's what I think. Reasons? My reasons are that since Gunter Stein is no longer in the fold, I don't like them that much. Is that a good enough reason for them to come second last? Probably not, because how much did Gunter actually contribute? A lot of laughs. I don't know how much engineering actually mattered coming from him, but or as a team principal, how much engineering do you actually do, right? A lot of project management. I miss him. That's the point. I just need to quickly save my cat from falling off a table. Hold on.
Well, while you do that, I'll be somewhat more reactive to your comments about
Knowledgeable.
Haas. I would argue that Haas have become a better team under Ayo Komatsu, and they've been spending their money in the right areas. They've got a deal going with Toyota at the moment, which allows them to use their wind tunnel in Cologne, so they're getting better feedback. That's becoming more and more cohesive. They're cutting less silly corners, which Gunter used to do, and Io, I
Specific
think,
corners.
has an engineering background, so he understands how to work a team pretty well. Gunter used to run Jaguar Racing, worked at Red Bull. He has a rally background, so he knew his stuff. But I think Io brings together a much more cohesive team, and with two drivers, that one being very special in Ollie Behrman, and one being a very, very experienced and quick on his day, Esteban Ocon. I think that this team will be quick. They didn't put any effort into quick times during testing. It was all long run pace, so they know what to expect from their race car, and they can always juice it up for a couple of quali laps. But if they know how long a race will take, they can probably work around the other corners. So I've got Haas in seventh for the season.
Shit. You gave a much better bit of reasoning than I could
I
ever.
thought your reasoning was great, dude.
So I can't argue with it. What that like? Nah, I need to learn a bit more about Haas again. I think I'm too much of a normie. I think when it comes to them, that the only normie thing was Gunter Steiner for me. And that just comes from Drive to Survive, which is also probably the
I
most
think
normie
it's
thing ever.
great, dude. I
Um,
think there's no problem in it at all. It's also just the flavors that people like. I will happily put 10 hours aside to watch and listen to podcasts and testing all day, every day. And some people just don't have time for that. And you know what? You can also, I can also reason myself into the absolute incorrect answer. So I have no idea. It's like people who predict the stock exchange. I mean, things happen. Yeah, dude.
F1
This is
stock.
just F1 stocks that we're playing at the moment. So I could be 100% wrong. Alpine got a second and third in Brazil last year. They didn't deserve that, but they got it.
Yeah. It's just racing.
Yeah.
That's just racing, right? Anything can happen. Lance Stroll's
He's
gotten a
gotten a
podium
pole
before.
position before, boy.
Anything can happen. Sorry, that's
He's
what I
got a
meant.
few
A pole
podiums.
position. Also heard how you won Formula 3.
Yeah. Ferrari Academy driver.
It's not good.
He was good. He's a good driver.
I heard
Yeah, probably.
because they're all spec cars, but apparently he had parts on his car that were deemed
really?
illegal.
What?
How do you get illegal parts on a spec car unless your dad owns the team? And he did.
Poor little dude.
Let's put our tinfoil hats away for another time. Let's go on to Williams.
First. Easy. They're gonna
win. I'm nervous for them, but I'm also really hopeful after seeing what was happening in testing. Obviously, Carlos Sainz was all the buzz. The car seems quite quick. I'm gonna put them at a modest fourth. Oh, but then
fourth.
But then who goes? Nah.
Whoa.
Nah. I'm not gonna be so. I'm gonna say fifth. I'm putting them at fifth, and then we can discuss what you.
I think fifth is
reasons.
I've got them as either fifth or sixth. I mean, I'm 100% behind Williams. That's my biased sort of position going forward, is that I'm always going to be pro Williams. I have them either fifth or sixth, but I'm leaning more towards sixth for a few factors. Seeing as, I mean, we agree testing doesn't say too much, but one thing that did stand out to me was that on the hard set of tires, the Williams set a faster time in testing by over a second compared to their 2024 qualifying time. So the development rate there is huge. You can add 1.5 seconds faster or more onto that in terms of the development rate of this car and what they've done. Valls has completely changed the team.
Wait,
sorry.
Sorry, this is at Bahrain, yeah? Okay. When was that last season?
Of the season.
Towards the end of the beginning of the season.
It was the season opener.
Beginning, okay. Okay.
So
yeah. Because this year's Australia, so I was like very confused for a second.
I think that it's going to be a successful majority Q3 appearances from Williams this season. You've got what I consider to be at least the second strongest driver lineup with Carlos and Alex. Especially Carlos, I feel like he's going to add a lot to the team in terms of experience. He also says that the car isn't too far off the Ferrari in terms of his own feeling, and he was really impressed with the way that it's been set up. And as long as Williams can keep their crashes down, as long as they can keep adding a few upgrades during the year, I think that they can take a lot out of this. But it goes without saying that they're going to be focusing the majority of their efforts towards 2026 and the new regulation cycle, which is why I put Williams down for sixth and not fifth. I feel like Alpine's so reckless that they might just go for it.
Yo. Jeez. I don't think that's going to play out. I think Alpine are going to, for lack of a better word, shit the bed. But but how about this livery though? I really like Williams' livery this year.
Yeah,
I think it's sexy.
It's the last time you'll see it in that sort of theme, I guess. I reckon with the new regulations next year, they'll change it up. So take in the sort of matte blue and the dark front end. I love it. I like the fact that a lot of teams have got so much more color on their cars because they've found other avenues of saving weight, that they don't have to take the paint on and just have exposed carbon. They can actually, even like Alpine, highlight a lot of paint and have it stand out and make it look really pretty.
Yeah. Let's see. I really hope
Yeah.
big things come for Williams this coming
I
season.
think it's one of those
I really
things
do.
that even if you're not a Williams fan, you want Williams to do well as a Formula One fan, which says a lot about them.
Yeah. It's the history.
Yeah,
It's the
they're
pedigree.
the good guys of Formula One, in a sense.
Yeah. And they are. Should we move on to
Yes, I'm just ticking off who
Mercedes?
we've done on our list over here. 6th, 7th places, all done. Top 4, Robbie boy. Let's get it going.
Mercedes, because I love Toto Wolff, I really hope they come top 3. I don't know if they are, but I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to say top 3, third.
Third, whoa.
I think the reason why is Ferrari can make mistakes. McLaren could potentially make mistakes, and Red Bull I don't know. I didn't hear a lot of chatter about Red Bull in testing, so they might be falling off. So I think it's possible. I'm putting them at third. I know George Russell's also, he's a winning driver. He's got the chops for it, I think. Kimi Antonelli, that's his name, right? Young boy. Young man. I don't know much about him. He seems good. He seems fiery. Wasn't he quicker than George at some stage? But again, it's also testing, so I don't know, man. He's also young. A lot of pressure on his shoulders, but like maybe he's just like a sociopath who doesn't care.
I just want to jump in there. I think that Antonelli is the future of that team in many respects. I think that this may very well be, and this is crazy to say, but I think that this is actually the strongest driver pairing on the grid. Yeah.
Jeez, like what?
Mm-hmm.
You okay?
In terms of, I think that these two guys alone on a Saturday can get a 1-2 with a slower car than Hamilton and Leclerc. I reckon they're that fast. Jeez, whether it's going to translate into race pace and overall points, I'm not sure. But I would be very, very, very careful about underestimating Mercedes, which I think I've done compared to you.
Yeah, look, I haven't. I'm hopeful. I want him to crack it. But do I want them to win at the moment?
Yes.
Don't know.
Either way, the top 4 is going to be I don't want close. Them to... I've got Mercedes down in 4th.
Yeah.
I think that between 4th and 3rd and 2nd and 1st is going to be so marginal in terms of points that you could interchange either of those two.
You know what? I like mine better, so
yeah,
I'm leaving it at 3rd. Should we now talk about the Horner in the room? Where's the image? Red Bull. Oracle Red Bull. I actually want them to come last, dude. Dead last. I know that's not going to happen. Do you know why I want them to come last?
Why?
This is my own weird programming thing that I have against Oracle. So they essentially hold a patent to something called JavaScript. JavaScript is a language that is used everywhere. And they've had nothing to do with this language for the past 20 years, but they still own the rights to the name. The community have kind of like asked for them to give it up, but the corporate overlords have decided that they don't want to. They don't use it. They don't use it at all. They just have it. So down with Oracle, but I digress. I do want to see good things from Liam Lawson because I want to see an opportunity of Red Bull come to a younger driver like that. And him to, kind of break the curse. The Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, dare I say it, Sergio Perez, but kind of not really. I mean, Sergio Perez had wins in that car, but it's more like the junior curse. It's the Pierre Gasly, Alex
Danny
Albon
Kvyat.
curse that I want to see broken. I want to see someone.
As far back as that,
yeah, Danny Kvyat. Even Daniel Ricciardo to an extent, right? Like that was like a weird seat that he just couldn't get because he was back in. Was it AlphaTauri? Yeah, and then
they've been shafting drivers for the last 10 years, basically, and it's gonna be interesting to see. I think you can put them fourth. I think that's pretty much where you're seeing them go. Oh god, that cringy. Oh gosh,
I know
it's unreal.
It's awesome, right? It's so
and did
epic.
You probably heard all of the booing of Max Verstappen when they asked him questions.
Really?
Whoa.
Why? Why boo him?
Because we live in a society where it's just okay to bully somebody if you're standing far away and you're part of a group.
It is the heavy is the head that wears the crown. He always gets a lot of flack. Lewis Hamilton does. Lando Norris, did you see how much flack he was getting towards the end of last season because he started winning? Did you see? Like, people love to hate the first. So, yeah, it comes with the territory. Yeah. Get the paycheck, mate. You'll be okay.
He's going to be a baby daddy soon. So, he's got a whole life ahead of him, dude. Yeah, that is so crazy. Poor Danny Kvyat, dude.
Do you think he sees him? Like,
well, I mean, Max took his car, took his girl, took his kid. Now he's having a kid with his ex-girl. It's the maddest thing ever, man. That's some medieval type replacement of a person. I can't believe that happened.
The only thing that Danny Kvyat got was like a nickname from Vettel.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Well, speaking of torpedoes.
Oh, yeah.
See who's going to torpedo their way into first position at the end of the year. And I want to hear from you, dude.
Oh, wait.
Who do you think, because this is going to decide second place, who do you think is going to take first this season?
McLaren. I'm going for McLaren. I think they had it. And this is a cool analogy for this. They had the keys to the Ferrari in a sense at the end of last season. I think they just didn't have the maturity to keep it together. I think Lando Norris does have the chops to do it. I think he also just needs to remain a bit more cool, calm, and collected. And I do think it also is going to depend on how well he does at the beginning of the season. And if he does well, then I think they might give him more priority over Oscar. But if Oscar starts ripping it up like he did last season, there's going to be papaya rules again and all sorts of stuff. And that's great also for the sport. Let them race, have fun, do the thing. They still won the constructors last season, right? So in my opinion, everything that they did was so worth it. But I think like Lando Norris can do it next season or this season with his current car. I think it's his time.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind you with regards to Lando. I think that Lando is going to be champion, World Drivers champion. However, I'm taking a real stab here, and I think I might be wrong, but I'm putting it in. I think that Ferrari, for the first time in forever, are going to win the Constructors' Championship. I think you've just got two proven, consistent drivers that are going to eke enough points, enough second and third places to outweigh Lando winning every weekend. So I'm going with McLaren second, with Lando winning the World Drivers' Championship, and Ferrari first. But I think just to be smart, put McLaren in first and Ferrari in second, because I think you're right.
No. We're locking it in. Ferrari
Ooh.
first,
I feel
McLaren
like it's too
second.
spicy a take, though, dude.
It is spicy, but it is super spicy just because of Ferrari's track record. And also, we are coming off of the back of a very, very dry season for Lewis
Yeah.
Hamilton, right? Like, we're going to hear a lot of this, and potentially. And, these are also two big characters. Lewis Hamilton is a winner. So is Charles Leclerc, and Charles Leclerc has been driver number one at Ferrari for
Forever.
how long now?
Yeah.
3-4 years. Yeah. Lewis Hamilton obviously has kind of been F1's number one for what he
Yeah.
won 7
Over a decade.
championships, but even longer. Yeah, he's been number one in everyone's hearts for so long. So Charles Leclerc is going to have the Lewis Hamilton crowd giving him a lot of shit if he doesn't kind of back off or whatever. And Charles Leclerc's fan base is nowhere near like anywhere like those crazy people. I'm probably one of them. So yeah, mate. I think yeah, I'm hopeful for Ferrari, but I'm also very nervous, and I'm extremely jazzed for McLaren winning as well. I mean, when's the last time that they won? 2008.
McLaren winning the constructors championship last year.
Oh, sorry, last year, Rob. You flippin' moron.
Wow,
I'm tired, Kay.
That's one of the problems with this podcast is it's early in the morning here. It's 20 to 10 in NZ, and it's probably 20 to 11 where Rob is in South Africa, which is so unfair on him. But I love him dearly for making it happen nonetheless. So, Rob, that looks like our list over there, my man. I think that's our official prediction for the upcoming season in that case. I'm with it, dude.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that list.
Yeah.
I think it's sick.
If we're idiots, let us know. Or don't. That's totally fine too. But we have just a couple more things over here that I think we should digest before we wrap this thing up. I want to know, Rob, what your biggest surprise of the season is. What do you think is going to be the biggest thing that no one saw coming?
Martin Brundle getting a lot of respect on the grid
walk. That's brilliant. That's epic.
And I stand by it. What do you?
Mine is related to Aston Martin, and I believe that this is going to be Lance Stroll's final year in Formula One. I feel like he is not there. He doesn't enjoy it, and he's not going to be the right fit for Aston Martin racing in 2026. And I don't think that he deserves an Adrian Newey car. I think he's going to pull the plug and tell his dad that he no longer wants to race, and he's just not got the heart for it anymore. And they're going to find a different driver, and I think that different driver is going to be Yuki Tsunoda. Honda, baby.
Oh, because of Honda.
I think that's where that's going, and it would be a great thing for Formula One.
Yeah, that's a really good prediction. Jeez, do you do some kind of research or something?
I woke up at 3:00 this morning, and that's all I was thinking about was Formula One. So yeah, that's where I'm thinking that's going. So I've also been sitting on these for a while, dude.
Do you?
That's what I'm hoping is going to happen, but I doubt it actually will. To be fair, but that's.
I like it though. I don't know. I don't know how long Fernando Alonso is going to hang around for though. And okay, obviously he'll probably want to get into that car next season, so he'll probably like at least give himself another year. And then if he's out, Um, it could then open up, and I mean, imagine if both drivers walk away. Could be Yuki, then it could be someone else, maybe of British drive.
That
Could be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
George
never
Russell.
happening. George is going to be in Mercedes for the next 4 years.
Why
That's
not,
his
bro?
best chance at a world title. Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Absolutely. I can't see him moving
Yeah.
anywhere. I think
And I don't know anything about the new
I doubt
drivers.
that there will be any bigger change than that. Even that is a huge change. Next up, onto the Destructors Championship. We've talked about the Constructors and who we think is going to be leading that. Who do you think is going to cause the most damage for the season? Which team?
Team or driver?
Sauber. I mean, they can only.
Yeah.
What are they going to crash into
Sauber.
each other?
Oh yeah, they're slow. Alpine.
Sauber going to crash into Alpine, or Alpine are who you're choosing?
Alpine.
Okay, fine. Alpine. Awesome. I've gone with
What do you
Haas. I just think that with Esteban and with the rookie that is Behrman, I think Behrman's got a lot of pace, but I think that he's going to be trying to push the boundaries of a car that may not necessarily be able to handle it the same way a Ferrari would. And they're going to be in the midfield. And with those midfield sort of battles, you're more likely to come across more cars in front and behind you. Whereas I think Sauber are just going to have cars behind them. Sorry, in front of them. So I think that little extra bit of friction might just mean Esteban takes a couple of risks. And yeah.
I see. You see, yeah. He royally messed up last season, right? And Monaco, where else was it? He crashed numerous times into Gasly and other people. Also just in other seasons. The reason why I went for Alpine was because of Gasly, because he can do the same. Also midfield battles. Can't really handle them.
Although Gasly last year was the only driver who didn't cost the team 1 cent of damage. I believe he was the first driver in something like the entire new era of Formula One that hasn't cost a single cent of damage all season. So
yeah, but he was in accidents, but I guess not his fault. But you never know. It's because Esteban did it for him, man.
What a clunky.
I didn't give him enough time.
Jeepers.
Do you know who actually took it last season?
Oh, Williams.
No. Well, like driver-wise.
I'm going Albon.
Caused the most damage.
Who?
It was Sergio Perez. He did more damage than the person that did the most amount of damage the previous season, and that was Liam Lawson. I think it was 4.something million pounds of damage.
Might have been Logan
and
Sargent,
Sergio Perez.
Liam Lawson.
Sorry, yeah. Liam Lawson. Logan Sargent. Sorry, that's exactly what I meant. But Sergio Perez did more damage than Logan Sargent did last season with 6 races to go. Yeah. You know what I mean.
You just got to get rid of a driver like that. It's no surprise he isn't on the grid. And I think Red Bull have made a good move in getting Lawson or anyone else in that seat, to be fair. If you're saving money, you're earning money. And you're putting the team in a better place.
Yeah, exactly.
With respect to confidence. So I think all around good move. A little worried for Alpine and Haas, but let's see how they get on. It'll be interesting to see who wins out there. Final 2 things, Rob. Rookie of the season. Who you got going for you?
Um, Give me
Nice.
Antonelli.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you? I don't know. I don't know much
So
about the
I'm
others,
I'm
but I think he's.
I'm
I think
going
he's not
for Liam
performant.
Lawson. Technically, it's his first full season, so he counts as a rookie. I think that Liam's going to be doing much better than people predict. Liam's a very fast boy, from the land of the long white cloud, best country on planet
Wait,
Earth.
Liam Lawson. I
He's
mean,
he's got
he's a rookie, but he's
it's
not really a
yeah, he's
rookie,
not
right?
really a rookie, which is why I'm putting him down as rookie of the season because he's got some experience. He's in a good car. I also think that Liam has a lot to prove. Liam knows that you only get one sort of bite at the cherry, whereas Bortoleto is in. He doesn't really have to do too much to secure a space for next season. Um, Ollie Behrman's got a contract with Ferrari. He's a Ferrari driver, academy driver. He's got the contract with Haas. There's no real stakes there necessarily. Even somebody like Antonelli might be able to get
Dang.
like a bogey season and still get a drive going for 2026. Liam's not 19 or 20. He's a little bit older. He's like 22 this year, I think. And I think he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders. I think he's going to do very well. In fact, he ties into my next question as well, which is what would be your sneaky suspicion for the upcoming season? So that would be what would be your hottest take? Something that you think. Well, let me see what I wrote down. No, I didn't write down anything. What do you think? What is your most unexpected thing that will happen this season that would be considered a hot take? I'll give you mine. I'll give you mine
Wait,
so you know what
wait,
I what,
wait.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, yeah,
My hot take for
yeah,
the
yeah.
season is that Liam Lawson is going to outqualify Max on merit at least 5 times this season. Something that Sergio Perez was not able to do regularly at all without some sort of fault to Max. I think that Liam Lawson is
You
is gonna
barely got
is
out of
gonna
Q3, yeah.
outqualify Max.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Um, see, then I have another one, but that's kind of going on the same like idea
Do
that
it.
you have. Give me a sec. No. Need to be original.
Well, while Rob thinks about that, I'll take you on a little tour of some stuff that I have. This is where all of our electricity is kept, all of our circuit boards, because I'm under the stairs. This is the Stewart SF3 car, one of the cars that I fell in love with from 1999, run by Jackie Stewart. It's even got the tartan, and that became Jaguar and eventually Red Bull. Loved it. On to you, Rob.
um, Jeez, like. Okay, fine. I'm just gonna say it. Um, Albon will score more points than Carlos Sainz.
Do you think so? I would love that. I would love that to happen.
Like, I think it's possible.
Yeah,
Albon can bring it, right? We've seen
I
it.
think it's one of the fastest drivers on the grid.
He can do it. Yeah. And actually, I think now having someone like Sainz in his team actually gives him like a proper bit of like, something to work for or like, proper competition. And we did also see that with, for a brief time, who was that chap who came in and replaced?
Colapinto.
Um, yeah. Colapinto lit a fire under his ass for sure, right? Like there were times where you saw Colapinto and you're like, well, no, he outqualified him in like 1 or 2 races, I think. Yeah. So it can happen. But I think that kind of driver will only like better Albon's driving. He'll become less comfortable, less driven. I mean,
For
more
me,
driven.
that is
You know what I
certainly
mean?
a hot take, my dude. I like that a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I hope it comes true. But also, I'm too invested in a lot of these oaks. Maybe we should
Nah,
just focus on the youngsters.
I think do whatever the hell makes you happy. That's the cool thing about Formula One is you don't need to support a team. I mean, I love Williams, but I support every team and every driver. It's all just fun, which is kind of the beauty of it.
Yeah.
But I think on that note, dude, I think that sets us up nicely for the season ahead, dude. I'm really stoked. I think we're gonna have a lot to talk about, and in a week and a half, we go to Melbourne for the Melbourne Grand Prix to kick off the season, and I am itching.
You know what? I am keen, eh? Okay, I'll stop with this shit.
Not the way I'll stop with this shit. You have a perfectly good bleep button there.
Yeah, I'm not using it. What time? It'll be more in line with your time, hey? I don't know.
But that's what alarm clocks were invented for.
It'd be like 4 o'clock in the morning. What do you mean? You want me to get up at 2 in the morning?
One of these days, when we're on similar watchability fronts, we'll do a watch along, which I think could actually be quite fun as the race goes together. Do a race companion.
What's a race that might fit in that?
Probably something like Singapore, China might do that, Miami, or I could just stay up and watch the race. Because I'm gonna do that. I do that anyway. If it's like 2 o'clock my side, I generally watch the race anyway.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're going to make it happen.
Oh, man, that was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. Seeing as this is going to be on YouTube and Spotify and whatever, hopefully what we do is we continue to figure this out and grow and just continue to have fun with just being back on the mic. So, yeah, we'll see where this goes and how we can keep this going. But Tuesdays and Wednesdays, when are we going to be uploading these? Wednesdays should be when these are uploaded every week.
Yeah.
Awesome. That sounds perfect.
Depending on when we get an editing crew.
The budget's got to be drawn up.
Assistance.
I'll be on that.
Budget.
Yeah.
Budget.
Well, we'll get started on that. But thanks to everyone who listened, all 5 of you people. And thanks to Rob for getting this back on track. This has been a lot of fun. But until next week, I guess. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you then. Bye, Rob.
Garage.
Is that thing done?